Comment review coming at you fast and hot. Casey Jones commented, Jake, why don't you recommend the Air Force or the Marine Corps? I always hear Army or Navy. Well, let me tell y'all this, man. Here's what I'm going to tell you on the Air Force and the Marine Corps. And then I'm going to come back to the Army or the Navy. Most of the guys I'm talking to want to do special operations, okay? And so there's a couple caveats to this, but special operations, most of the guys would like to get there at some point in the next decade, okay? Both the Air Force and the Marine Corps are two different animals, but their pipeline to special operations is very, very long as far as the Marine Corps goes. You got to come in and already be halfway qualified to go to MARSOC. You're talking about roughly at the 6-year point of your enlistment, you're going to get an opportunity to go screen for MARSOC. That's 6 years. When I put that against the Army or the Navy and the SEAL teams, 6 years, you already have done 2 platoons in the SEAL teams. 6 years in the Army, if you went straight into the Ranger Regiment as a young E3 running and gunning, you may already have 1 or 2 year-long deployments in. Now, when we were at war, everybody was getting to play. But now that we're at peace, it's just a lot faster to get there than 6 years. Okay? That's why I don't really recommend the Marine Corps a whole lot to people. You got to want to be a Marine. It's a cult over there. I'm not big on cults. You know, I'm kind of a free spirit, free thinking dude. So me and the Marine Corps didn't necessarily jive super tight. Okay? But if you want to be a Marine and wear them class alphas and be clean, then you can go do it. I'm not down against it. I got a Marine pilot right now. I got 2 Marine pilots actually. So we're not down on it. The Air Force. So special operations in the Air Force, I want you to understand this. There's only 166 special operation PJs in the Air Force. Now, there's some couple other people in there, TACPs and a couple other things. But if you told me that the special operations community in the Air Force was bigger than 2,000 people, not including the Pavlo helicopter pilots, I'm talking about just boots on the ground, door kickers, PJs, TACPs, all them guys that are in the special operations community, it can't be bigger than much more than about 1,000. All right, so let's put that in perspective. Let's look at the Army, who has 100,000 people in its SF community. Think about that. That sure is a lot of people, man. That's a lot of opportunities. You probably got 10,000 shooters, warfighters, operators in the Army. You might even have more than that. But think about that and compare it to the Air Force. 166 PJs to 10,000, right? I think there's 5,000 Green Berets right now. Think about that. There's 2 battalions of 800 3 battalions of 800 Rangers, not including training Rangers. Okay, just guys in the regiment. Okay, that's like I'm gonna do the rough math. That's roughly 50 times more opportunity in the Army than there is in the Air Force. Okay, so when it really comes down to it, it's really nothing to do with the Air Force or the Marine Corps. It's more to do with the opportunities that are available to you in the Army or Navy. Now, let's change gears from SF to being a pilot, because there are some distinct differences here between the two communities. Hands down, by far, the best community to fly in is the United States Air Force. Tons of fixed-wing aircraft, multi-engine. If we're trying to go to the airlines here in 11 years, then the Air Force is the way to go. They got 15,000 pilots compared to the Navy's 7,000. Okay, they don't have a lot of egg beaters over there with them helicopters. They got a lot of fixed-wing jets, KC-130s, KC-135s, refuelers, right? They got all the big boys over there. The Air Force got a ton of cargo planes, C-17s, C-5s, okay? All of those planes are very conducive for you to go flying in commercial. All right. So I always say the Air Force is best. Now, here's the caveat to that. It's really hard to get in to fly in the Air Force because everybody that wants to fly wants to go in the Air Force. Okay. I have not had any problems in the last 7 years pumping anybody into naval aviation. If you got a solid GPA in college graduate, you do to make the minimum on the ASTB, the aviation test, you're going to get a pilot billing in the Navy. Now, you got to bust your butt because the pilot program in the Navy is full of commercial airlines pilots, roughly between 2 and 4 in every class of about 14 students. So you're going to have to beat some bad dudes flying the stick if you want to go fly jets. That's why I recommend that everybody gets 40 to 60 hours of flight time. Really, 50 to 100 hours would be best if you can afford it. Okay? You got to fly before you get to flight school to have a chance to beat the guys that have been flying commercially for a couple years. Okay? So, in the aviation community, I'm always recommending the Navy just because it's the easiest to get into to be a pilot. My number one choice is the Air Force. It's just really hard. And then the Army is all egg beaters for the most part. So the Army is pretty much last on my list for aviation. Now, the good thing about the Army aviation pipeline is you only need a 2-year degree. So if you got an associate's degree, you could pop on over in the Army and be flying helicopters in a second. So if you don't want to graduate from college, you got your AA degree, you can go bang Army helicopters. Okay? Casey, man, I hope that sheds some light on your comment. That's the reason behind everything that I do and say. One little hanging Chad. We don't want to go fly in the Marine Corps because we got to go to TBS for 6 months. And then it's way up in the air, man. They got a ton of helicopters. They got the Osprey. You know, if I'm going to fly, I'm trying to go fly in the Air Force first, the Navy second, but knowing that the Navy is the easiest to get into. My third choice would be the Marine Corps, and my fourth choice would be the Army, because I'm be flying a helicopter in the Army. Okay, but the good thing about the Army, they only require an associate's degree to go fly. All right, Casey, let's wrap this bad boy up. Casey Jones, that was my high school football coach's name, man. We took second in state, man. Bad game. All right, y'all. Casey, man, really appreciate this question, man. Hopefully this video shed some light on it. And as always, if you liked it, smash the subscribe button. If you loved it, share it with your friends. And if you thought it was garbage, hey, push boots and keep it moving.